Mainframe's hard. Mainframe's difficult. Mainframes are such a challenge. No, they're not. When we look at the mainframe technology, we have to recognize that it's been around for a very long time. And so some of the terms that we're using are just historical terms. And so give me the next few minutes to do a little translation between the historical terms we use for the mainframe and the terms that are used in cloud. And so that the next time you want to talk to someone about a mainframe, you aren't so confused at the words that they're using. So let's start at the beginning. CEC, CEC, or Central Electronics Complex. Yeah, we don't really use that anymore, but we still use CPC, Central Processor Complex, and CEC as terms for the hardware. It's the server, it's the system. It's what we call that. In an environment, in the cloud environment, we still have servers. We just didn't have that term. We also have the HMC, the Hardware Management Console. The name makes sense when we say it out, HMC, Hardware Management Console. That's how you manage this set of systems so that you can work within the environment. And another one, LPAR. I actually still wonder if this is still used in cloud. Sometimes it's a logical partition. It's like we do in cloud, we're partitioning hardware to provide a set of systems. So these terms, just a different way of expressing mainframe versus the words we use in the cloud. Now, there are some terms that are a little different, like coupling facility. A coupling facility is a very different concept in that it allows you to share resources. In the cloud, I have lots of applications and databases, and they're all running independently. I have to shard my database if I need to spread it across an environment. In the Z world, on the other hand, I can have a set of systems and a set of shared storage, and they can all use that. And so I don't have to separate out things in the same way. And that's what the coupling facility gives me. It gives me the ability to share across multiple systems running in a single environment. And if we take that to an even larger scale, and we have multiple systems running in different locations, we have a globally dispersed parallel sysplex. So this environment was a parallel sysplex. These multiple environments are a globally dispersed version of that. So I can keep a system running all the time. In cloud, you have multiple regions, multiple environments. You're going to run in multiple different places around the world to keep your systems up, but they're not shared in the back end. You're doing some kind of replication behind them, but with GDPS, it's been optimized to ensure it can really work as a whole. That's how we keep Visa up and running all the time. Now another one that's always been fun. When you start an operating system, what do you call it? You call it boot, right? Yeah, except over here, we call it IPL. That's a historical sentence. It's the initial program load. Makes perfect sense when you know what it stands for. But now, most people refer to it as boot. So somebody says IPL, they just mean boot. When I think about operating systems, and let's pick on a common operating system. It runs on the mainframe, it runs on cloud. The Linux operating system. Historically, it was the Linux nucleus. Now we call it the Linux kernel. Well, in the mainframe, many of the operating systems still use that nucleus term. So every time you hear a nucleus, translate to kernel. Now let's take another step down within this environment. In the cloud environment, I have Kubernetes environments. I can manage my pods, I can manage my nodes around the environment. Here, I have WLM, Workload Manager. Workload Manager is what makes sure my applications are running in the system appropriately. So the highest priority application gets the most resources. Very advanced workload management capability, but it's doing a similar function to what we have in a cloud environment. There are many other terms like job. We have jobs in Kubernetes environments, and we have JCL, job control language. It's just the language we use to define how you're going to run a job and the resources it needs access to. We have another term, PDS and PDSE, partition dataset and partition dataset extended. That's really just a set of folders and files. So next time somebody's throwing out these terms like JCL or PDSE, you know what they stand for. It's just a historical way of naming things. In some cases, they're a little different. PDSs, PDSEs are a little different than files and folders, but fundamentally, it's the same. So when you think about mainframe technology, you can think about it in a different way. It's not so different. It's just historical terms that are being used. And you can translate that to the terms you know today. And so the next time you're talking to an old system programmer like me, when they say IPL, you just say, you mean boot. We can all work together with the mainframe and cloud as part of our hybrid cloud.